happened 20 years ago with Oracle and how they basically helped China go from zero to its mass surveillance system?
What happened with Oracle?
I don't actually know this.
Oh, well, they sold a lot of equipment, servers, and whatnot to the Chinese government.
Oh, I thought that was just Cisco. Oracle did it too?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, yeah, Cisco also.
I mean, Cisco built the firewall for them in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, how do you think Oracle's Larry Ellison made his billions? A big part of that was China. So,
Wow.
So I would say that that's not a completely innocent, or I would say that that company is not independent of Chinese influence anyway. But the whole point is Project Texas is still not going to work because even if all the data is stored in the U.S., there are still potentially, and I would say very, very likely, going to be backdoors for the Chinese government to access TikTok user data. Even if that data, again, is stored in the U.S., it could still be accessed.
I mean, there have been multiple articles from
Like
BuzzFeed and Forbes and
whistleblowers,
different, media talking about how essentially, like that ByteDance had access to TikTok data many times when they weren't supposed to be.
even more than TikTok employees had.
Spying on American journalists trying to report on TikTok.
Yeah. And then on top of just the data access, there's also the essential part, which is the algorithms. So all these social media companies, including TikTok, are essentially run by algorithms, and a lot of it is AI, which basically encourage users to watch certain content and not watch other content. And so, even if the data is stored in the US and not accessed by China, you still have Chinese influence in what videos get promoted and what get essentially
Do you remember
censored.
that girl who made some video about the Uyghurs in China and then it got taken off TikTok?
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
then-
Yeah, there's that. But also, there's just something like even more like degenerate about TikTok. There's something about like what it is. It's just so corrosive to people's brains. I think kids these days, they're not, get off my lawn.
They didn't have MySpace.
Yeah.
That reminds me when I found your old MySpace profile
Oh,
a
yeah.
number of years ago when we were in Norway. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I remember
you
that.
were also friends with Tom.
I was.
But
We
also,
all
you had a
betrayed
waxed
Tom.
mustache.
Yes, a nice little curly, cute mustache. It was great. But actually, it's funny how TikTok has been responding to this, kind of in like what you were saying earlier about, why the U.S. government would be hesitant to really put the screws on China for selling weapons in Ukraine to Russia. They are pushing this whole line of, hey, there are 150 million U.S. users. They love this. Biden, are you sure you'd want to?
I mean, they didn't say
ban
that
it?
as
As specifically,
as that.
I'm reading between the
Yeah.
lines. But yeah, it's definitely, they're pointing to like an election's coming up. Do you really want to ban something that so many, particularly young Democratic voting voters,
Yeah.
are using.
for.
Yes, like
Yeah.
don't take away their TikTok.
Well, I mean, most voters between 18 and 35 vote Democrat, right? And so that's also TikTok skews younger. So it was a clear crossover for that. And I think that if we had a Republican president and a Republican-led Congress in both houses, you'd probably see TikTok being banned immediately. But also keep in mind, like that's their political calculus, right?
Although the Biden administration has supported that Restrict Act that is going through Congress
that would allow
the government to ban TikTok or other foreign
right.
apps that have.
and it does
undue
seem like
influence.
it might be a better tactic than what the Trump administration tried to do, where Trump himself basically tried to use executive powers to ban TikTok, and that was on a little bit of a shaky legal ground.
Right.
But now this is current ban. Unfortunately, there's now 50 million more TikTok users, but actually having this go through Congress would be a little more.
It does seem the
feasible.
Biden administration doesn't really want to have to actually ban TikTok because it seems that they've been pressuring ByteDance to sell TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
That's their preferred way to get out of this.
Yeah.
But also,
But it won't work very well.
I
It
mean,
won't
I don't
actually work
think-
to protect American users.
well, besides just that, I don't think the Chinese Communist Party would let ByteDance sell TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, because then a U.S. company would have access to the algorithm. They may be able to see any backdoors or like weird things they have in there,
The secret AI god that has been summoned from another dimension that's in the core of the algorithm.
Maybe
The
it's space
space
demons.
Yeah, we went the same place.
But I would really applaud the Biden administration if they do have the courage to ban TikTok, because that would show a strength that goes beyond partisan politics. And I would say that if the Biden administration can ban TikTok and have the courage to do that and do it in a way where they can explain to voters why, then it's possible that that would even be a political advantage.
The explaining to voters why thing might be a little tricky.
Yeah, it would be hard.
Especially the young people on TikTok who can only listen to something for 30 seconds.
Well, then you got to make a TikTok video about why you're banning
But if
TikTok.
it's banned,
well, then you just make a reel, right? Or this is one thing I kind of wonder why, Facebook and Google, like these other
are more into
are
banning
more
TikTok.
into banning TikTok, because that is like a direct competitor, right?
Yeah.
Like YouTube Shorts. That's obviously trying to rip off TikTok, right?
Yeah. And it always sucks on another platform for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've not had TikTok on my phone ever
Yeah.
because of obvious reasons. But like, I can see that, Instagram is a little better at doing that than YouTube is.
I guess so. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what the Biden administration does, because I really have no clue. Like, in some ways, they have been pretty strong on China. In other ways, it's been very bad. It's real. I have no idea how it'll go.
Did you see the clip? I didn't watch all of the CEO's testimony to the House committee, but there was a clip of a congresswoman tried to ask him about the Uyghurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he just kept avoiding the question. She was like asking him if he personally believed that there was like that China was repressing the Uyghurs, something like that. And then he kept just being like, "I'm here to talk about TikTok." And then like he just refused. Like she asked like 3 times and he just kept refusing to actually give an answer about the Uyghurs. So that was, that was a moment.
Interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
we should make a little reel of that.
Yeah. Well, when people refuse to answer yes or no questions with a yes or no, that should always be a sign that they're hiding something. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you have to factor in when you're discussing how to, with the relevant facts and information and the different departments.
Avoid talking about genocide and things like that. Yeah.
What was it? I can't hear you over Matt's shirt, Shelley. That should have been his defense. That's why everyone in Congress wears, drab suits and stuff, so everyone can hear.
That's why. Oh man, yeah. But like the CEO's testimony, he started off with like, like I was born in Singapore, and then like I had this opportunity to come to the U.S. Like he was trying to kind of like make himself into like the American dream kind of.
Pulled myself up by my own bootstraps.
And like now I'm the CEO of TikTok, this wonderful company who we're trying really hard to like protect teenagers from our content. Like that's not what he said, but it was essentially like we're building more ways to get parents involved and make a safer like social media atmosphere for et cetera.
Didn't they also create like an election misinformation center for
yeah, they
midterms?
tried to do that. I don't know how widespread it was. We did this whole episode on America Uncovered about also politicians trying to use TikTok, which was very bad.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, like incredibly terrible, actually. But yeah.
Well.